What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Combat Corporation, your source of combat sports. I'm your host, Al the Postmaster Tomorrow. Today, I have a gear review on the Aries Boxwear Speciale custom training gloves. Alright folks, as always, I'm incredibly excited to bring you yet another gear review, and you know me, I love bringing new brands for your reviews, so please join me in welcoming Aries Boxwear, a new brand based out of the UK. I believe they officially started in late August or early September. I've been in touch with them slightly longer than that, right before they dropped the brand themselves, and they have a really cool goal statement to bring you premium products and boxing gloves without paying outrageously premium prices, but we'll talk about that more later. Today we are reviewing their top line model, that is the Speciale training glove. And the reason why I call it the Speciale is because the Italian word for special is Speciale, and this glove is made out of really nice Italian leathers. I think they're trying to pay homage to that. I am horrible at pronouncing foreign things, let alone speaking English, but I did take one semester in college that was an Italian class, and I passed. Not great, but I passed, and I think I'm saying it right. But hey, we could say Speciale, Special, Special. You guys roast me when I say Asia in Mexico wrong whenever it's a made in Mexico glove, but you know what? You will tell me in the comments below and I will learn and grow from it. And as you can see here, we got some cool colors because these were actually custom made and gifted to me by Aries Boxwear. I got them in my Syracuse University orange and royal blue, as well as my logo here on the back. And as I tell you guys, just because these gloves were sent to me, we got to take into consideration that Aries Boxwear is a new brand and they need feedback from people, whether it be from a general consumer or someone like me who is a professional mixed martial artist and also has used any type of boxing glove as you can think of from the different reviews that you've seen me do, and they just want my input on it for a 100% straight up honest review so they can get fair critiques, go back to the lab if they have to, or keep what they got. And also remember, there's three things that I never like getting messed with, and that is my money, my training, and my health. And here's why. I don't like wasting money on things that aren't going to keep me safe and comfortable. And on top of it, if they hurt me, then I'm not healthy, which means I can't train. All I like to do is combat sports related things, and I think combat sports is amazing. And I want you to train, stay healthy, and spend the right amount of money for you and your budget to keep you safe and comfortable. So I'm going to tell you everything I like about the glove, what I don't like about the glove, what I would change, who it would work for, who it wouldn't work for, are they worth it, all those different things. It's a 100% straight up honest review. I would never steer you the wrong way because I want to make sure that you're in the gym at all times. But with that said, let's go ahead and talk about Aries Boxwear. They first got in touch with me, I want to say May or June of 2024, and said they wanted to make me a pair of premium Italian leather gloves with, get this, horsehair. And I'm thinking, okay, how much is that going to cost? Because that's going to be really expensive. And the first thing he said was, no, that's the point of our brand. We are going to be comparable to the other major combat sports brands out there at the professional level in price, which I'm thinking, I don't know how you're going to do that. But they worked very hard to get the best Italian leathers they could get from the different tanneries and dispensaries in Italy. On top of it, they also got the best manufacturing partners and different things like that. And the cool part about it is they're right. These gloves go for about 200 British pounds, which I believe the conversion rate, if I'm correct, is about 256 US dollars, which is comparable to some gloves behind me like Adidas, Sabas, Venom, Rival, let's see, Cleto Reyes, Hit and Move, Everlast, Fortress, Bryant Boxing. Some of the gloves I mentioned go for 250 all the way up to 300, but you can get an Italian leather made glove with horsehair in it for 250 as well, and you can also get it customized to your own, although that is slightly more expensive. But I think that's absolutely amazing, and I think that's cool that there's a brand out there, and I actually want to read their mission statement. It gives you a good idea of who you're working with. They call themselves the new kids on the block, or the good fellas of the boxing world, which I think is awesome. But introducing a boxing brand designed to revolutionize an outdated industry, our founders have crafted a premium, high-performance line that's accessible without compromising on quality. We've worked relentlessly to secure the finest manufacturing partners and source the world's best leathers. Sorry about the lisp. Our goal is to become a household name in premium boxing gear. And we always wish luck to new brands that say stuff like that, because they very well could be in the next coming years. I'm always excited about that. They've already kind of drawn the ire of a couple brands out there, but you know what? I've really enjoyed using these gloves for as long as I've had them. You might have seen me do the unboxing a while ago, and I've put plenty of rounds in these ever since my knee was cleared, to box a few months ago, which have been awesome. So with that said, guys, let's go ahead and get into the review and talk about what you can expect when you get these gloves. First off, I think it's awesome to mention that these gloves come with a bonus, and that is you get a really awesome leather bag to put these gloves in. So you get this amazing leather bag that has a zipper, and you can see it's this nice, awesome brown leather bag made out of the same leather the gloves are made of. It has a handle on the side if you need a good grip for it. Then you also have this nice gold logo, the Aries Boxwear logo right there, as well as some other gold zippers. And then here, there's nothing on the bottom or the back. When we open it, I believe the term is monogram for this type of design. I always forget. And it has a bunch of the different logos on the inside there. You also see it say Aries there. And you can see we have a zipper pouch up here. And I imagine that's to put hand wraps in there, because Aries does have some pretty cool hand wraps as well. The interior lining is very, very soft. It feels just like the inside of the glove, that nice nylon lining, which is awesome. And on top of it, you have a nice satin bag, which has the Aries Boxwear logo on the front, which looks really cool. So you can make your glove travel and style in its own briefcase, which I think is really awesome. Or we can call it a boxing purse, I don't know. But then when we come to the glove itself, the exact model I have for you today is a 16-ounce customized colorway of orange and blue. They have tons of different colors that are in stock or that you can get customized yourself, which I will put across the screen for your viewing pleasure. And then, like I said, I got them in lace-up closure, and they're in 16 ounces. And you are able to get them in hook and loop as well. And you have a ton of different sizes to pick from. Your standard array of professional sizes, which is 8 ounces, 10 ounces, 10 ounce XL. So for a bigger hand compartment, 12, 14, 16, and 18 ounces. So you got 8 to 18 ounces plus a 10 ounce XL, which is amazing. But again, for your reference for this video, I got the 16 ounce size, which has worked just fine for me, well, size and weight. And I also got them in lace up closure, and I got them in the customized colors, but there are tons of different options on the website. And we go ahead and go into the look of the glove. As you can see, that orange looks just like the fruit orange. I actually put it next to one when I first got these out of the box, and my wife started laughing because she's like, she thought you could eat it because even the texture of the leather looks like an orange, which is amazing. So Syracuse orange is dead on there. You can also see that awesome Aries logo right there, the Aries Boxwear logo, which looks like that V, which I want to say is actually the Greek logo or Greek like kind of shape for it. I can't believe no one, I was talking to that about them, honestly, not to get off track, but how no one else used Ares, the god of war of Greek mythology, as a actual like mascot or logo for a boxing brand or MMA brand. But, you know, good on them for doing that. And then you can see it's a Speciale across there, which is really cool. And it has that nice fancy squiggle going at the top there. And then when we go over to the fingertips, you can see, again, we have more of that nice orange until we come over here to the thumb. Again, you got more of that monogram. It's not monotone, I think it's monogram type of design here. Those white logos on that royal blue thumb, which looks really awesome. In general, this glove gets a 10 out of 10 as far as design goes, because this leather shines really well, catches the camera great. Then you also have never hesitate across the grip bar here, some breathe holes towards the top, as you can see, and that is in white, that never hesitate. Then you come down here, you have white piping for the thumb, and then you also have orange piping with white laces down the palm. And then they were nice enough to customize my name there, The Postmaster. It has that awesome kind of like graffiti-esque type lettering to it, which I think looks awesome. Then here you can see at the base, it says your standard 16-ounce stamp. Where'd it go? There it went, right there. And you also have another Aries tag right there at the base. Then it also says, I'll read the other glove. It says handmade, genuine leather, the Aries quality. as you can see right there. And again, genuine leather is a different leather in and of itself. That's not what the glove is made of. Genuine leather just means that, hey, this is genuinely leather, it's real. But when we talk about the actual outer shell of the glove and the leather that it's made out of, it is made of what we call Italian Napa leather. Now, Napa leather is a very popular leather for very popular cars. A lot of cars that you can think of, like Cadillacs and stuff like that, use Napa leather, and other brands use Napa leather now too, because it's a different type of processing when it comes to the tanning of the leather. Now, Italian leather as well is very well known for using vegetable tanning, and this is also full grain. Napa leather must be full grain, and I know I'm throwing a lot at you. Full grain is basically what you see the cow walking around with. They take it off the animal, then they tan it, and in this case, Italian leather uses a lot of vegetable tanning, which takes a longer amount of time, which is why Italian leather is so sought after. On top of that, Napa leather is used for cars and different things like boxing gloves now because they're very breathable, they're easy to stitch, they're stronger than most leathers, and on top of it, it gets softer over time. It doesn't get stiff, and it does not really fade away from the elements so much. It actually stays strong in elements. So in a sport like this, where you're in a real acidic type of environment with sweat, blood, and tears and all those other things, it's going to be very good for the glove and the leather over time because it is that Napa leather. Very breathable, lets air pass through it very easily too. You can see here that we got a pretty thick hide, but the cool part is I think the padding is actually stitched right to the leather itself for me until we get down here, and then you can kind of pull a little bit of that leather off, but it's a very thick and soft hide. This is for sure the softest leather I felt on a glove. I've said that a few times, but this glove and I'd say the Barrick boxing glove are tied for the softest leather I've used. And you can also tell it's an Italian leather, not to sound silly, because it has more of that earthy tone to it. It smells more like that vegetable oils, because I believe they use like pine oils and stuff like that when it comes to tanning leathers like that, and it kind of has that earthy scent to it. Now, when it comes to the padding, like a lot of gloves are trying to do nowadays, it is that horsehair foam blend, and it has a pocketed horsehair towards the top of the knuckles from here down to about right here over the knuckles here, and that's where you can actually feel the horsehair and you can hear it, that crinkle. And that's the horsehair on the inside. And what's blended with that is high density foam. I don't know how many layers of high density foam are in there, but when I tell you this is a soft glove, it's I think the padding is actually softer than the Barrick boxing gloves I just reviewed. I think these gloves actually beat softness as far as like the Salvador boxing gloves I reviewed, and those gloves were super soft. This is actually, I think, the softest boxing glove I have used as far as training goes. It feels just like an actual fight glove with more padding and weight to it. And you can see how I can just ball the glove up like this, and I can even ball it down like that and squish it. So as much as I want to tell you that the knuckle padding is great for everyone, and I even talked to Aries Boxwear about this, I said these gloves are unforgiving for some, huh? And their words exactly were, they're a little naughty. Now that doesn't mean that they don't protect your knuckles. The high density foam and the horsehair combination being quilted in there and actually pocketed does add some pretty decent protection to your knuckles. I would still say if you have brittle hands, just kind of an idea of how soft this glove is. Again, it just bunches up like that. It may not be your best option, but if you love a true puncher's glove, then this is a great option for you, especially if, say, you're a professional boxer and you fought in, say, like a Reyes glove before, or a horsehair style glove, or some of the rival horsehair gloves. They might be a really good option to train in for you. My buddy Parker Porter, getting ready for his BKFC fight, wanted to try these on the bags when I was telling him about them, and he said he liked them because they offered just enough support for his knuckles so they can have a break from all the bare knuckle conditioning, or compared to just hitting the bag without bare knuckles. But he said there's not too much padding to where I feel like I'm not conditioning my hands, and I thought that was a really good thing. So who knows, if you're bare knuckle boxing, this also might be a really good idea for you for glove training. So the padding in general, very, very soft with that horsehair foam blend, but I have enjoyed it, but we'll talk about that more as we go on. Here on the thumb, you can see we have that nice Japanese style curved thumb, and it is a nice shape going on the inside here, and it gives you that awesome tuck behind feel, and it gives you that amazing natural fist. Until we go over to the palm here, and you can see we have those breathe holes again, and the grip bar is just as soft as the rest of the glove. The thumb itself is a little bit firmer than the padding on the back of the hand and the knuckles itself, but it's still really soft as well, and I'd say it's about as soft as that grip bar too. The padding, and rather the piping over here in the crease of the thumb, is actually really, really soft like everything else, and sometimes gloves will get that too stiff and that will hurt the inside of your thumb. In this case, it's not. Then that piping here and the laces complement the rest of the glove really well. And as you can see as well, we have some padding going throughout the base of the glove, going down to the forearm and upwards of the palm. That's just to counterbalance some weight, also to protect your forearms from punches, and also to help you hug your arm a bit more when you go to lace it up. That way you have more weight pulling inward. You can see the laces again have that really awesome long length to it, which I love, long lengthy laces. And on top of it, the eyelids, if it doesn't fall out of my hand, the eyelids are super, super smooth. If I pull them out like this, then I open them here, bam. And you can see the interior lining has a really nice nylon feel, and you have more of those logos going throughout. I actually didn't talk about that earlier. It has the white and yellow logos, but it's a nice nylon breathable lining, and it feels really good. It feels like a very good inside of like a briefcase or a backpack. When I put my hand on the inside, again, it has a really nice fight glove fit and feel to it. And the first thing you're gonna notice, this feels exactly the same way it did right out of the box. It did not have a break-in period whatsoever. They felt broken in right off the bat. And the one thing that surprised me is I thought I was going to be able to like poke right through to my knuckles, but no, I actually feel pretty good support around my knuckles. I feel the indentations, but I don't feel the bone, right? I don't feel that sticking through so much. So it does offer some knuckle padding, but I still would venture to say, and you know, I don't think they would disagree with me, if you're someone that has brittle hands in general, horsehair gloves to train in may not be your go-to, but these definitely are a bit unforgiving on the knuckles if you have brittle hands, because I have felt every single impact when I punch with this glove, including my hand right now. I feel my knuckles going through, making impact with that target. And they're a true puncher's glove because when I nail it, it's like you stop dead in your tracks, right? It gives you that awesome energy to feed off of, but it's like, bang, I made contact. And sparring in these, I have definitely noticed that my sparring partners have reacted to them differently than, say, other padded gloves. So when I was sparring with Parker Porter, he even said the same thing. He said, oh my God, like I felt every punch with those too. You know, and that's why I think he might actually look into getting these because, you know, the spar, like for bare knuckle boxing, it might be a good idea. But you do have decent knuckle support. Is it the best on the planet? No. And I hope Aries Boxwear doesn't get offended by me saying that. But no, it does not have the best knuckle support. The wrist support is good though, because the wrist cuff lines up pretty well with my wrist. I'd say my wrist bone lines up maybe about a hair above where the wrist cuff is. But hey, I use a lace and loop strap anyway, and that secures it. And also, if you need to pinch it, the glove is soft enough to where you can come up just a little bit higher, and that would work. You can still get away with pinching it way up here too, but that's now on the back of my hand, not on my wrist. But the laces work really well, especially because they're so long. The grips are great grips for the wrist, for the back of the arm, for the neck, the top of the head if you're doing Muay Thai or MMA. These have been great for the limited full MMA sparring I've done so far, you know, big glove, you know, shoot sparring and stuff like that. I'm able to get pretty strong grips with these. I'm actually able to like get submissions and stuff with these. I actually got a double wrist lock using these, or a Kimura for those of you that don't know the terminology of double wrist lock. And overall it feels really good. The interior hand compartment has tons of room if you want to wrap your hands up big to protect your knuckles a bit more. And it still also has pretty good wrist support. The back of the hand support's great. I like the thumb positioning a lot, and you have tons of flexibility to open, parry, and catch punches as well. So that's my first initial thoughts of the glove, but let's go ahead and go into the bag work, and then we'll come back with my final thoughts and my final verdict. The first thing I love about these gloves is the balance, because they fit perfectly on the back of your hands, and so you don't have to overcompensate your technique for too bulky or heavy of gloves. They're very sleek on your hands, and on top of it, you're able to let your hands go fast, just like a puncher's glove is intended. You can feel every amount of impact on your knuckles too, and you can feel the bag really make contact with your hand, which is awesome. Although there is plenty of padding if you have strong hands, and on top of it, as you saw there, great clinch if you're looking for a good glove for Muay Thai, kickboxing, or MMA. And again, if you have strong hands, you can hit really hard with these gloves as well. They are awesome, sleek puncher's glove. They give you unlimited energy, and I can hit the bags for hours with these well-balanced puncher's gloves. First thing that comes to mind when I look at the design of these gloves coming at me is the class and how fancy they look. When you see that squiggly S at the beginning, like that nice cursive for the Speciale word, I think it looks absolutely awesome. And of course, I love the orange and blue coloration with the monogram look on the thumb as well. The gloves scream class, they scream that they're fancy, and the best part is you can get these yourselves and get your own custom colorway too. And I hope in the future, if you get these, you send me your colors. All right, folks, so my final verdict here for the Aries Boxwear Speciale training gloves is, as a pure puncher, I have absolutely loved using these because I have felt every amount of impact with these gloves. I get that non-stop puncher puncher's action. I get that reverberation whenever I punch. My knuckles sink into everything I hit, and I love it. And if you're a puncher hearing that, you're probably smiling ear to ear. But if you're someone that has brittle hands, or maybe you're more selective with your punches because you've had hand injuries in the past, you might be looking at these gloves and thinking they're not a good option for you. And that's the thing. It means you know what you're talking about in my book. Because for me, I would definitely classify these as a 100% bona fide puncher's gloves. Usually that comes with the territory of horsehair gloves. And I'm going to give you an example of two different people that use two different types of gloves and talk about a puncher, maybe more of a defensive boxer, right? When we talk about a guy like Manny Pacquiao, very strong hands. Very rarely did you hear him have any type of issues with his hands breaking and stuff like that. He was actually notoriously stubborn for wrapping his own hands. He wouldn't let Freddie Roach do it himself. And he boxed when he competed in Cleto Reyes horsehair gloves. Here's why. As a puncher, you want that, because you want to throw multiple punches, upwards of 60 to 100 per round in your actual bout, and double that when you train. But here's the deal. Horsehair gloves are unforgiving for you, the person I'm punching, not my hands. My hands are getting protected just enough because my hands are strong and I don't need that much more padding compared to a hand wrap and what the glove has to offer me. But it's going to suck for you to get hit with. That's the idea. But still, if you had a guy like Floyd Mayweather, who actually used to box in Cleto Reyes gloves at the beginning of his career, didn't use them anymore because he broke his hand several times at the beginning stage of his career. Actually, one time in a bout, it's the only official knockdown in his career because he hurt his hand, touched the canvas, and that counted as a knockdown. I think he was using Grant in that fight anyway. But he uses primarily Grant and Winning because they protect his knuckles more than a puncher's glove. They have more like orthopedic foams, high density open cell foams, latex, things like that, like big rounded latex that creates distance between my knuckles and the target. And it also has different foams in it that give it that pillow puncher's quality. But that's the thing. Floyd Mayweather broke his hand several times. I don't often remember hearing Manny Pacquiao saying, oh, I broke my hand at the end of each fight or at the beginning of a training camp, whatever it might be. And that's kind of what you're looking at here. The other issue with these gloves I could see, in MMA, I don't think people are going to give you a fuss over it, but in boxing, there are some gyms that are pretty much sticklers of what gear you could use, especially with professionals. I know there are some gyms out there like you need to use Everlast, you need to use Winning, you need to use Grant. They only let you use specific gloves for specific people. And in this case, I think if my hands were getting, tied by a coach and they felt these, they'd say they're too soft and I couldn't spar in them. And with that said, I do notice a difference when I spar in these gloves with my partners. And I'm not saying I'm a big bad guy when I train, but I do know that I carry a bit more of a punch because I'm a bigger guy. For some other of my sparring partners that might be a little bit smaller than me or even the same size, that when I punch them with these while holding back, I notice a bit of a difference. When I punch the bag in these, I notice a difference on how I feel when I make impact on my knuckles, the back of my hand, and my wrist. It's not uncomfortable for me. It feels great because I'm a puncher and I have big, strong hands because I'm a bigger guy. That's usually how it goes. Heavyweights usually have bigger bone structures, can take more of a pounding compared to smaller guys that don't. But in this case, I noticed sparring partners shy away from it. I noticed a couple more bloody noses. I noticed a couple more marks come from sparring partners with these gloves on because, again, horsehair gloves are a bit harsher on your partners. That is just a common known fact. And again, talking with Aries Boxwear, and I kind of brought that up with them, they said, yes, they are a little naughty. That's the idea. For me, this feels just like a fight glove. My 1 or 2 amateur kickboxing matches I did, we used rival professional fight gloves for some reason. They were a 10-ounce XL professional fight glove, and they felt just like these do, right? And that was the cool part about that. Only thing is, I think those gloves maybe didn't use horsehair. I could be wrong. But these feel just like that. But doesn't mean that there's no protective qualities to it. I want to talk more about the positives because everything I just said maybe sounds like a negative for some. But again, if you're a puncher, you're thinking, forget all that. That's awesome. I love it, right? So let's talk about some of the positives. For one, although maybe they do have a different type of impactful feeling when you punch, when I put these gloves on, they fit perfectly. And I love that about them. They're very well balanced. That's the one thing I love about puncher's gloves. Is they're well balanced. That means that they're going to protect your hand a lot better. And the reason why is if I take this one and I try and balance it, say like this on my hand, if it doesn't get caught with the laces, you can see that my hand's dead in the center and it's staying perfectly there. If I lean it that way, it doesn't tilt. If I lean it that way, it doesn't tilt. That means usually if you have more weight going towards the back, the knuckle padding is not going to be great. If you have more weight going towards the front, the wrist support in the back of the hand isn't going to be that great. That's common when you have unbalanced gloves, but in this case, it's very well balanced, which means it's not going to be very taxing on your shoulders and arms when you punch. You're going to have straightforward, direct punches, which is great. And on top of it, it means that the distribution of the glove is perfectly even, which is great. So I love that about the glove. And on top of it, like I said, I feel the impact with this glove. Don't get me wrong. Like, I can feel it more on my palm than I can here. So it's not like there's no knuckle padding. There definitely is protection of the knuckles, but I still say you should have stronger, firmer hands if that's the case. The other part about it is the hand compartment is huge. So if you really do want to wrap up your hands extra big and still give them a shot, you can try that, but I would kind of say, you know, there are some other horsehair foam blend gloves that maybe protect you just a touch more than these do. But for me, if you're a puncher, wrap your hands up traditionally and have at it. You know, I have done that with these gloves. I usually just wrap my hands up traditionally. Sometimes in MMA, I don't even wear wraps because it's just, you know, not always necessary depending on what you're doing. But if I do wear wraps more than I don't, I'll word it that way. But in this case, I wear wraps and it feels perfect on the inside. My hands feel secure and everything like that. I've never once felt like my wrist was going to pop, my knuckles were going to explode, or like the back of my hand was going to go kaboom, or things like that. So everything is still pretty supportive. The thumb is in a great position. Very comfortable thumb, and overall, it's in a great natural punch position. The glove is curved naturally down, lining your knuckles up with that flat knuckle surface, which is awesome. So every time I punch, I really don't need to do much. You just got to turn my hand over, and there we go. Bang, right down the pipe, right where you're supposed to go. I absolutely love that they felt broken in right off the bat, and I love that you're able to open and catch and parry very easily with these gloves. I'm able to get very strong grips if you're doing Muay Thai or MMA, so they are a very versatile glove. They're great for boxing, Muay Thai, MMA, kickboxing, anything you can name, I think it'd be great for. I think they're awesome for bags and pads. I think in sparring, you're definitely going to notice a bit of a difference if you punch people all out with these gloves. I know I would not like getting hit by them, but with that said, that comes with the territory of a horsehair glove. Then we talk about the other things that are great about the glove. The interior lining is very, very smooth and soft, and on top of that, very moisture wicking, which is always great, which means that it's able to air out much quicker, so that way you can just kind of take them out of your bag, leave them overnight, and they'll be fine. But I also put them on my glove purifier or my boot warmer, whatever it might be, and that'll dry them out probably within, I'd say, 10 minutes, honestly, because the interior lining is very comfortable, very smooth. Big interior hand compartment, like I said, if you want to wrap your hands up, great. And the durability and quality of the leather is outstanding. Has that nice earthy leather texture and scent to it, which is amazing. And you can see all those natural grain marks just throughout the leather. It's absolutely gorgeous. The other cool part is the variety of this glove. You have a lot of different options you can get. Again, 8 ounce, 10 ounce, 10 ounce XL, 12, 14, 16, and 18 ounces. You have a very large array of gloves, glove sizes you can pick from. And here's the best part. If these gloves don't match your needs, Aries Boxwear has some other models on their website that do match your needs, and they have a great customer service line which you can reach out to them and ask them about, which is great. That's the one thing I love about glove reviews like these. They don't work for everybody. They don't, and I'm being honest about that. But they do have gloves that do work for everybody, which is great. So for me, and the other thing, the pricing, right? $250 for US dollars about for 200 British pounds, I think is what they equate to. 250, 260 US dollars. That's about the same as you pay for, like I said, some really high-end Venom gloves, for some Rival gloves, for some of the Hit and Move gloves, for Fortress that I'm looking at, and a couple other brands that go up there. Even some Everlast gloves go for about that price. So with that said, for me, I think it's very fairly priced, and you know, I think maybe $30 less you can get a Cleto Reyes pair for $220. That's kind of what you're looking at now. And would I prefer these over Cleto Reyes? You know, it's kind of your personal preference. I think these are better well made than Cleto Reyes are nowadays. I don't like the modern Cleto Reyes compared to the old Cleto Reyes I grew up using, but that's besides the point. It is definitely a bit of a different glove. I have one pair I've had for years I got to do the review on yet. But with these, they're definitely up there as a great puncher's glove. But if you're looking for something with a little bit more knuckle padding to it, I would definitely venture to look somewhere else that would be in that pillow to the defensive puncher category. Very big rounded glove. This is not that. This is for a puncher. So with that said, how would I rate these gloves, guys? Well, you know, like I said, that's kind of tough. I used to do I rate it this way for this way, this way for that way, but I'm just going to give it the general rating. I am going to give it a 9 out of 10, and I'm going to put it in that great glove category, that A tier. I think it is perfect in there, because for me, for excellent, it's always got to be that 10 out of 10, and it's got to be something that I would recommend to absolutely absolutely everybody. In this case, I wouldn't recommend it to everybody because I do think if you have brittle hands, this glove might be unforgiving for your knuckles, and it's definitely unforgiving for your sparring partners, and some people may not appreciate that when you use them. With that said though, I do think they do offer, good for a puncher, perfect amount of knuckle protection, great wrist support, great back of the hand support, very comfortable, very flexible glove, very durable. It's going to last you a long time. I can see this glove for sure, very good value for your money. I definitely say at least 4 to 5 years if you take care of them. The only thing I will tell you is that horsehair does break down over time. I do believe they actually offer a repadding service if you wanted to kind of keep the glove, because I will say the outer shell will last longer than the horsehair does itself. Horsehair will break down and move around over time, though it is pocketed, so it won't move down that much. But again, that is an option if you want that. That's something I don't see many brands doing. Again, they're a new brand too, so the customer service is amazing. But once again, I put them in that puncher's category. So if you don't have strong hands, I would look to get something that offers a bit more protection and padding for your knuckles, wrist, and back of your hand. That's just my opinion. But overall, very incredible glove. I think for a first shot at a professional level glove by this brand, they knocked it out of the park. I would definitely buy it again myself. I do thank them for giving these gloves to me. But again, I just kind of put them in the category of punchers versus anything else. And if you have any other questions, again, please reach out to Aries Boxwear. They'd be happy to help you with that. They have a couple other models out there that I hope to try. But guys, with that said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any further questions or feel I missed anything, put that in the comment section below or message me on my Instagram or TikTok page. I love to respond to you guys, and I always look forward to see what you want me to review next. So continue to comment below. On top of it, like and subscribe. They're 2 small clicks for you, and it's 2 big steps for the channel. And hey, hit that notification bell if you want to see any more reviews like this. And if you know any friends that are looking for more gear reviews or MMA breakdowns, let them know to come visit your source for combat sports, The Combat Corporation. As always, I've been your host, Al the Postmaster Morrow, and I really appreciate all of your viewership, and thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next episode. Have a great day, everybody.